One of the best feelings as a hunter is pulling an SD card from a game camera that you know is set up in an awesome spot, getting it home, and then finding that a great buck has shown up on it. It makes all that work you put in the off season, putting in good habitat or scouting out new areas to hunt, it makes it all worth it. So if that's one of the best feelings as a hunter, the worst has to be you pulled that card, got it home, and there was absolutely nothing on it. Or captured some stuff on it, but it's pointed too high or too low or right at the sun or so many other things that could have gone wrong with it. Now imagine you put that camera out a month ago. You thought you had a month's worth of scouting and you've got absolute crap. That is a long time to waste on unproductive scouting, especially if it's because you did something stupid to cause it. So in this video, we're gonna go over two of probably the most common trail camera mistakes you're probably making so you can make sure that you get good, high quality photos from your trail cameras at all times. But before we go over these mistakes, do me a favor, and if this is your first time on my channel, hit that subscribe button and make sure you click that bell icon so you can be notified every time I upload a video. I also wanted to let you know that I did get some new sponsors for the channel, but because YouTube just changed their sponsor guidelines or restrictions, I can't even mention them to you or the channel gets strikes. So until I can get some new approved channel sponsors that I can share on each video, if you want to help support the channel and also get some like new rangefinders or what's the best way to say this? If you're looking for something that goes on your hunting tool of choice that helps you see deer clearly at range, follow me on X or Twitter or whatever you call it, and I'll share some links to a great website that offers great high quality products at good prices, and you'll also be able to help support the channel. I'll still probably get some strikes because that's probably not as clever as I think it is. And that first trail camera mistake that you're probably making is you're not even putting your trail cameras in good places to begin with. You should follow the same concept that you would follow for hanging a tree stand or picking a spot to hunt. If you cannot name a good reason why you are putting a trail camera in this spot, looking in this direction, then you should find a better spot. Trail cameras should be placed in areas that are well traveled by deer, whether that's a pinch point in the woods, a mock, or even better, a real scrape, a food plot edge, an area that's got lots of oaks with acorns dropping, something that would be drawing deer to that specific area. If you're putting up a camera in a spot because, I don't know, it just looks good, then it's probably not a good spot. You might get lucky from time to time, but that is not a good, efficient way to use trail cameras to scout. Your camera placement should be targeted. Unless you've got a crap ton of cameras that you can kind of just shotgun all over the place, that might work, but it'll get real expensive putting batteries in those things real fast. And if you're trying to do that on public land, it's a good way to get them all stolen. And even then, you're probably going to be getting pictures of the same deer on all your cameras if you've got them all, just scattered out in this area. It's just a big waste of time and money. And when you do find those good high percentage areas to put up a camera, try to set it up on a tree or something that the deer are going to be traveling across it or diagonally toward it or away from it. You don't want to set it up on a tree where the deer are going to be coming straight at it. I found that I don't get good, reliable, or consistent triggers when they're coming right at it or away from it. I don't know if it just messes with the sensor in the camera or what. But those straight across, diagonal, something like that, that seems to be the best way to do it. This also allows you a good angle to see some of those features you need to see when you're trying to accurately guess a deer's age. You can't get that with a straight on shot. And also don't face those cameras directly east or west either. You'll get some very bad overexposure in those cameras because of the sun, and you won't be able to see what's in those photos most of the time. Now sometimes you can get away with it a little bit if it's off just enough, but try to face them north or south or some kind of degree in between. Just remember, the closer you get to straight east or west, the more likely or the more overexposed those photos tend to be. And speaking of seeing what's in the picture, the second trail camera mistake that I know you're making is you're not taking the time to make sure that that camera is set up correctly. It only takes a few minutes to make sure that your camera is set up properly. Always carry, like an SD card reader like this one with you that plugs in your smartphone or your tablet, or bring your laptop with you, or even get one of those specialized card readers that are made for this. The only problem is you got to make sure it's charged or has batteries, but that's a whole different problem. It just doesn't take that long to make sure everything's set up properly. This allows you to make sure that that height is set properly, that the sun's not blowing out all the photos, or that it's even taking pictures at all. I can't tell you how many times where I have set up a camera like these ones here. These are these cheap stealth cams that I got from Sam's Club. They worked fine for a good couple of months. And then, I set the camera up, turned it on, everything flashed on the screen, looked good, closed it up, and left for a month and came back and I had absolutely zero pictures. And in those situations, you can't even be sure that it's the camera messing up or that you just picked a terrible spot because you've got nothing to base it on. Except in that situation, I pulled that one and put one of those other Moultrie ones up and got pictures. So I know it was the camera, but still, if you've got that camera, you put it out in a spot, you let it sit for a long time, you get no pictures, you either have to put a different camera up or I don't know, figure out a way to get another camera in that spot, leave it for a certain amount of time to figure out if there are pictures or not, or just move it and assume that nothing came that way. So just take the time to make sure that it's set up correctly. You will never regret taking the time to do it. So that was 2 massive trail camera mistakes that you are probably making. If you've got any more trail camera mistakes that you'd like to share, make sure you leave those down in the comments below. Hit that like button if you like this video, share it if you found it helpful, and make sure that you are subscribed so you can stay informed.